Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snow. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. That we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. And I'm coming live from Tampa, Florida. And Steve, you're down there in Fort Myers, Florida. Steve is the president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and we're going to be talking to him and questioning him about all the great things that he continuously to do in boxing, from training, quarter work, promoting, being the president of the Hall of Fame. So we got a lot to cover today, and we're going to cover it. But before we bring Steve in and start questioning him, the vice president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Bob Alexander, has lost his father. So before we get started, we want to say our condolences to Bob Alexander and his family. May the prayers and blessings cover you and comfort your whole family, as when someone in the boxing community is hurting, we're all hurting. And Bob Alexander, we feel your pain, and we want to say we love you and we love your family. So with that, welcome in Steve Canton, president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. How you doing, Steve?
Doing great, Aaron. Always a pleasure to be with you, around you, and on your show, of course. Trainer of champions, Aaron Snow. Yep, always love being around.
Yeah, well, Steve, let me tell you, for people who don't know Steve, and so many people do, but Steve, you fought, you managed, you trained, corner man, cut man, a promoter. Now, with all of that, the gym, the SJC boxing gym, which talk a little bit about that first before we get in Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, because it connects what I just said. The SJC boxing gym, what does that mean, and what is it? How long has it been in existence, Steve?
Well, Aaron, we started the gym originally March 23rd, 1969 in Cincinnati, Ohio. March 23rd, 1969. This is 2025. That is
Wow.
56 years ago. We celebrated our anniversary of when we first opened. We
Wow.
moved to Fort Myers, Florida. And actually, it was the same day, March 23rd, 1989, the exact same date we moved to Fort Myers. So we just celebrated not only 56 years altogether, but 36 years in Fort Myers itself. I had a call just a few months back from Mike Silver, one of the foremost historians in the world, who's actually getting inducted in the class of 2025. Mike called me and he said he did some research and he found out that SJC Boxing is the longest continuously open boxing gym in history in the world by one owner ever. And he says, "Do you know what that means?" I said, "Of course, it means I'm very old."
Steve
So,
Archie something.
you
But
know,
look, when you have a gym like that that's been in existence, so many fighters and kids, because in the SJC um, uh, gym, you run youth programs for the community. Talk a little bit about that great program that you run down there, Steve, with the mentoring and all of that. Talk about that so people will have some understanding of that journey for 36 years down there. Talk about
yes,
that.
of course, Aaron. We've had this gym, as we said, for all back from 1969 through, mostly dealing with professional boxing throughout the years and amateur boxing somewhat. But
Hmm.
4 years ago, we made a partnership with the Lee County School Board to help problem students, as they quote, problem kids. And what we did is we opened up the gym in the afternoon, separate from our evening gym. And from 12:30 to 2:30, those kids from school are welcome to come in the gym at absolutely no cost. We give them a full lunch. Then we give them
Wow.
mentoring, gym training, and send them home with a snack. Then we went ahead and told all the kids who are unable to come then, or the ones that want to come back, are welcome at night during normal gym hours, and they can
Hmm.
train with us then. And we give their families free groceries. So we started this program, Aaron, 4 years ago. We're just finishing our 4th year, actually, this next week. 4 years. Originally, they gave us 1 school and 3 kids to try it as a pilot because they loved the idea, but we're wondering if it could really work. So here we are now finishing our 4th year. To date, we've had 264 students in our program from 57 area schools. And with graduations coming now, we'll have more than 50 high school graduates plus 5 graduates from technical schools from this program. So it's done very well, and we're very proud of that. And some of the kids actually have gone on to fight as amateurs on our amateur team. And in the future, as they get more experience and more age on them, they hope to turn pro. So it's a pretty good program that we are very proud of because we've got great people running the program there at SJC Boxing.
Now, at SJC Boxing, it's to my understanding is that the mayor and the city have recognized your program. Talk a little bit about the recognition of the programming and all of that the SJC Boxing Gym has been recognized from the city.
Yes, we've got great support from the city of Fort Myers, the mayor, Kevin Anderson. He attends most every event that we have. We do frequent events for the community. For example, last year we had our 4th annual Thanksgiving Day dinner. At the gym on Thanksgiving Day, we set up tables and chairs. We have a full Thanksgiving meal catered by Mel's Diner, one of our local sponsors. They come in and they provide a full meal, beverages, and desserts for those who wouldn't have Thanksgiving otherwise. Last year, our 4th year, we had 61 people there, including the mayor with his wife. We have frequent other events, open houses, Hall of Fame announcements, and the mayor always participates. I know 6 years ago, on our 30th anniversary, we got a commendation from the city. It was called SJC Boxing Day in the city of Fort Myers. They gave us a key to the city and a proclamation. There was a documentary done about our program called Worth the Fight. That's pretty interesting. It portrays several kids from the gym who came in with various problems, overcame their problems, and each kid could say individually it was worth the fight. That's how the title came about. John Bafar, 9-time Emmy Award winner, is the one who produced the movie. It won not only the Fort Myers Film Festival, but the prestigious Milan, Italy Film Festival with over 130 countries and over 2,000 movies competing. We took first place. Wow. We signed a contract with BMG Global Distributing, one of the biggest distributing companies in the world. They will have their worldwide release on 2 dates, partially released on June 3rd, and the rest of the world will be released on July 11th. In the meantime, we had a big promotion April 11th in Manhattan, New York, with a red carpet event screening this movie, and it was a full house documentation there. The city of Fort Myers was represented by Liston Boucher, one of our city council members who went to New York for that. And it's just been great support from the city officials who attend these events, and from the reaction we've gotten from the community is just fabulous, and we're so grateful for everybody involved.
Yes, your program has been seeing a lot of recognition for running a great program. And for those that are just tuning in, I'm talking with Steve Canton, who is president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and also he runs the SJC boxing program, where the Hall of Fame is located and part of the SJC boxing gym. Talk a little bit about the uniqueness of the combination of that Hall of Fame museum in the gym, Steve.
Yes, Aaron, we've set up a beautiful building. We'll just be finishing up our 5th year in that particular location in December. In the building, we have the gym itself, which boasts the oldest 3-row boxing ring in the world that dates back to the 1930s. That is a centerpiece in a gym where the kids train. They train in the ring, which had many of the all-time greats in boxing trained in the same ring as them, these kids today. Now, inside the gym, We have also a separate room with T-shirts and other merchandise that we have, the logo merchandise, SJC and Hall of Fame merchandise. We also have a separate area, and the gym has got no heat. Matter of fact, the heat is turned on, no air conditioning in the gym. But separately, we have another room set up for the equipment, which people can use at no charge if they don't have their own. And we have another lunchroom. The lunchroom consists of 3 freezers, 2 refrigerators, and a pantry. And we have the microwave and a toaster oven, and that's where we provide the lunches for the kids and the snacks for the families and groceries that we give out to families there. That's air conditioned. And then separate from that, we have another 3 rooms dedicated to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame Museum. That is also air conditioned. And the museum is kind of unique because we have glass walls set up between the museum and the gym. So those in the gym can look in and see the museum, and those in the museum can look through and see the gym in action. In the museum itself, we have it set up kind of unique too. When you walk into the gym, which is the audio visual room, which we have the TV going to the Hall of Fame website, YouTube channel, or the SJC YouTube channel, depending on what function we're having there in the community. And that is the white room or the neutral corner. You go to one side, you got the blue corner, the other side, the red corner, like the layout, like a gym.
Yes.
Like people in the boxing business know there's only 2 colors in boxing. That's the red and blue corner. There is no prejudice in boxing.
Right. That's correct.
I love. There's the 2 colors in boxing are the red and blue corner. Everything's equal. And there you have in one room the plaques and the induction photo and the fist cast from 2009 all the way to 2020 in one room, along with very many pieces of memorabilia. You go to the other room and you have from 2021 through 2025 so far, the same thing, the fist cast, the pictures of the inductees and the plaques on the wall. And we have other memorabilia there, along with a computer. And that computer is also tied into the school board so the kids can get some GPS credits that come into our program also. So it's a very well done layout between air conditioned lunchroom for the kids, equipment room for the equipment, air conditioned museum, and then heat for the gym where you train in. So it's very pleased with it. It's across the street from the Edison Mall in Fort Myers off the main drag on Cleveland Avenue, US 41. Has great ample parking, and it's just a perfect building for us. And we'll just be finishing, as I said, our 5th year in this one building.
Oh, okay. Now you got the SJC taken care of. Now let's dig into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and we'll come back to talk a little bit more about the SJC boxing gym. But the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Steve, how long has it been in existence? And the amount of inductees that you have is phenomenal. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, Aaron. It started by Butch and Kathy Flansburgh began the Hall of Fame in 2009. That was the first year. I was very fortunate to get inducted and be included in the first year of inductees as a trainer, along with 2 other trainers, which is Angelo Dundee and Jimmy Williams, who are both gone. So we were the first 3 trainers. Matter of fact, they put in 20 people the first year. We've maintained that every year we have 20 inductees going in, plus the Special Award, Achievement Award, Lifetime Achievement Award winners each year. And from that first year, there's very few of us still left, but it grew from the first year to the second year, and it's gone through many, many years now. This will be our 17th year in 2025. I believe it was 2020 or 2021, somewhere around there, when Butch Flansburgh stepped down and had me. I had been serving as his vice president for all those years. And Butch was going to retire, and his health was not good. He had dealing with cancer, which claimed his life after that. And he talked to me about taking over for him. And I had the stipulation that if I took over as president, I would like to have Bob Alexander, who was a board member, become my vice president. And that's what was done. And at that time, we did not have a museum. We had a Hall of Fame that was having announcements each year in January, announcing the 20 new inductees and the Achievement Award winners. from my gym in Fort Myers in January. And then we would have the induction weekend in Tampa, St. Pete area in June each year.
Right.
But there was no museum. What was happening, there was a rented storage unit with all the memorabilia on display in there, or not on display, but packed away in a storage unit. And maybe twice or three times a year, Butch and Kathy would dig it out of the storage unit and make a display in a local hotel.
Right.
And we took over here in Fort Myers, and 5 years ago when we moved to the larger building and we set up the museum in the building, that's why we have the larger building, so we can now take the merchandise that was on this in storage and put it on display. So we built the museum here in 2021, and our grand opening was January of 2021. So when I took over as president, we also added the museum, and now we have the induction announcements still in my gym the first Saturday of each January. And we maintain the induction weekends in June up in the Tampa, St. Pete area. So this year coming up, it'll be June 20, 21, and 22 at the same St. Hilton, Lake Carillon, St. Petersburg. Beautiful hotel. So that's where it's been.
So that's the class of 2025. What Steve is talking about.
Yes.
Steve, I've been to quite a few of those things. I was blessed. Y'all put the blessing on me to be inducted. You run a great program. The awards dinner is phenomenal. I mean, just looking at that big giant cake that Alessi does for you, man. And the food is something kind of special, and the events something kind of special. To have it that many days is just amazing how you do it. But talk about this class and talk a little bit about that whole weekend, what it looks like, and we'll tell people how they can get tickets and all that after you finish that.
Okay, yes, Aaron. We start the weekend, actually will be on Friday evening, 6 o'clock. It begins with a cocktail hour, meet and greet, because most of the time on Friday during the day is a travel day. That's when most of the people will be arriving for the big weekend during the day. So they'll check into the hotel with their rooms, and then they can come down and relax with the cocktail hour in the evening with the meet and greet. And we follow that with a live auction, and there'll be a few silent auction items on display so we can raise some funds for the Hall of Fame. It's just a fun get-together evening. Very, very nice on Friday. Saturday is a very busy day starting in the morning. Those people who need their fist casted from the class of 2025 will get it done on Saturday. Many were done during the announcement in January that we had. The rest of them will get done that day. So the fist caster will be there. They have a podcast going on. Brian Gary will do an excellent seminar on the officials and the referees and judges and how they work. He'll have some of the SJC boxers dressed up in their outfits to demonstrate with for Brian. And I think Chris Young will be helping him out. And then we're going to have actually a showing of our award-winning documentary, private showing for anyone that wants to see it on that Saturday afternoon. Some of the kids that are in the movie will be there in person. And then we're going to have the roundtable discussion following that, which will have Russell Peltz and Randy Gordon and Mike Silver there talking about the ills of boxing today, the difference between what it was, what is, some suggestions to make it better, and just nostalgia and any questions from the audience. That's a fun time. So during the day, there'll be a lot of interviews, pictures, meet and greet, autographs, things going on all day long, which will be totally informal and casual. We come back in the evening for gala dinner time at 6 o'clock. We start that with cocktails, and we have our performer, Mark Raish, a great singer. He'll be performing that night. The gala dinner will then begin with a prayer by Pinklin Thomas, former two-time heavyweight champion and one of the inductees from the original class of 2009. Bob Alexander will then introduce everybody from the new class and acknowledge the VIPs in attendance. We will have a keynote speech from Randy Gordon, who's coming to enjoy the weekend with his wife. We'll have a speech from Steve Yeard, our main supporter that makes the Hall of Fame possible from day one, with a big contribution that he does. And he's also an inductee. He'll be giving a talk. We'll have the special award plaque presentations that night. We also will be awarding $1,000 to somebody as a scholarship from the Don Hazelton Scholarship Award to go to college or technical school. We'll have the $2,500 grant, which will be the Walter Flansburgh Grant, Memorial Grant provided by Phil Alessi. That will be given to somebody in need. And then we'll have the great wrap up and presentations and pictures. We come back on Sunday morning with breakfast with the inductees. We follow that with a color guard presentation, the national anthem, a 10 count for deceased inductees, and then we have the live showing, streaming of the actual induction ceremony with all the inductees receiving their rings and their plaques and their certificates. And then we follow that with that great cake provided by Alessi Bakery with the names of all the inductees and coffee. And that is the fun weekend. What I like about it is everything is on the same floor in the hotel near each other. You don't go anywhere else for anything. You come on Friday, park your car. You don't need the car till it's time to go home on Sunday evening. So everything is right there. It's just a fabulous. There is a special price for the rooms on the Hall of Fame link, FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com. You can go right there, click on the link and get special prices and all that. Also under the event tickets, they're right there on the website. And anyone still wanting to sponsor or set ads, we have room for that. We're still looking for a few more there. We go for that. So that's basically that. Great class of 2025, Aaron, this year. We will be putting in 20 inductees as we always do. And there'll be a special awards in addition to that, achievement awards and lifetime achievement awards. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, it's always a great weekend, Steve, when with the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Let's dig back into, because man, people are listening to what you explained. That you explain your weekend to a T, and it's exciting. So you do have membership, right? How can people become a part of the Hall of Fame through membership? What's the cost and stuff like that? Let's do the membership first.
Yes, the membership, and on the membership, it's on the website. You can go on FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com. Also, it'll be in the program you will receive at the event itself, information on the membership. We have two types of membership. Okay. Those who have been inducted become a member of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame by just a $50 tax deductible donation. $50 gets you a membership card and a decal to put on your vehicle or window, wherever you want to put it. It runs from June 2025 through June 2026. It's an annual event. It runs from June to June each induction year. So a inductee can buy a membership in, and a non-inductee can do the same thing. They get a supporter decal. So for $50, you can support the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame by getting a supporter card to carry, ID card, and a decal to put on your car or window or wherever, adhesive decal. And it's just $50 for the year. And they're
for the whole year. What a great year. And then as events you're holding for the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, because you are a 501(c), you email them what's going on. They can get updates when you become a member.
Yes.
The program, right? You have program ads. Talk about the size of program ads, Steve, and if you have a business or a personal business card. Talk about those ads, because it's vitally important. You become part of the Hall of Fame awards dinner by taking an ad out. All the people in that great gala that you have, they get a chance to look at your business or your personal thing. You take a full page ad. Talk about the ad, the size, and the price.
Yes, Aaron, because it's very important. Let me say this. As you said, we're a nonprofit. We have no income at all. The money that we receive are from donations. They're from ticket sales at this big event that we have once a year. They're from sponsorships that write sponsor checks to the Hall of Fame throughout the year periodically. And they're from ads that are in this program. Now, we have to raise approximately $90,000, between $90,000 and $95,000 is the cost of an induction weekend, which is very, very much. Now, not only do we have to raise that money for the induction weekend, but we have to raise enough money to put into the bank account, to maintain the museum all year, which is renting the space in the gym, which is the Wi-Fi in the gym, which is the security we have in the gym. All these things cost. And then we also have merchandise that we buy and sell for the gym, and that's where we receive our income. So this is how we raise our money. So we need to have these supporters to donate to us, to buy merchandise, to buy tickets to the event and buy ads. In the program itself, you can get a full page ad for $500.
Wow, that's a great deal, man.
It is. And it's
Only
a color
500?
ad. It's a color program. And let me say this.
Now, is it Steve, in that program ad? Can you get the front page, the middle page, the back page, a full page? How does that work?
Yeah, we've got the front page, inside front, back page, and inside back taken with our major sponsors that like Steve Yeard and Phil Alessi, and those will have those pages. Okay. Otherwise, we have all of the anywhere inside, other than the cover and back, is available. And that's what we do. We scatter it throughout the whole program. So you can get a $500 full page ad. You can get a $300 half page ad, or you can get a $200 quarter page ad. Now this ad, you could either send us a copy yourself, or you can have us create the ad for you at no cost. And you can do congratulations, class of 2025, for example, from you. So this is always done, and we're working on that now. We need more ads. We need more sponsors and more ticket sales. So you got to buy your ticket for the weekend pass. The weekend ticket sales is a good bargain because for $150 per person, you can have a weekend ticket pass, which will allow you to come to the cocktail hour alone at night on Friday and the live auction. Then you can come back, and all the activities during the day Saturday and all the seminars during the day Saturday are included. The gala dinner is included at night, and the breakfast with the inductees is included, and the induction ceremony itself is included, as is the coffee and cake. All of that for $150 per person.
Wow,
so
that's a great deal.
Yeah, you can buy individual tickets, like I'm going to go to the gala dinner alone, $110, or I'm going to go to the breakfast alone. But the thing is, if you bought it separately, it would be a lot more money. If you bought it $150, it's cheaper, and you get to see everything. Now, some people might say, you know what, I'm only going to go there Saturday and Sunday, so I'll buy Saturday and Sunday. They might spend $160, $170 to buy the Saturday, Sunday events, when even if they're not there Friday, buy the whole ticket, and it's cheaper for $150 for the whole weekend. So take a look at that. You have those choices on the website, FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com.
Yeah, you hear that? Hey, look, FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com. You can go seek that information out about those ads, the price of the war dinner and the weekend. And for those who are just tuning in, we have Steve Canton, who is president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and he also is the director of the SJC Boxing Gym in Fort Myers, Florida, where the boxing gym and Hall of Fame museum is located. And he just got done explaining the weekend, also the cost, and we're going to go over that again because this is vitally important because it helps keep the Hall of Fame nice, beautiful, and the event is special because when you don't have costs eats up a lot of things, Steve. I know from doing events myself. And when you got a penny pinch, you don't have enough money. You've been blessed that keep sponsors for years because you run a great program, and you're able to get the city to, but you can't because you're working with kids. The Hall of Fame and all of that helps the bigger end of the program, which is these kids. Talk
Yes.
about, can they write one full check to benefit either one of them, or do you write, if you want to just say, if I want to support the SJC boxing gym, do I just write the check to them for your programs, what you're doing to kids, or can I write one check to support both programs? How does that work?
Yes, we have two nonprofits. We have SJC Boxing Club Inc., which is a 501c3. Since 1992, we became a 501c3. So anything that goes to SJC Boxing, the mentorship program, the gym itself, whatever, that would have to go to SJC Boxing. And we have a website there, sjcboxing.com. Anything that goes to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Inc., that is also a nonprofit that began in 2009 when we started the Hall of Fame. And that check would go to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Inc. itself. And both of them will be tax deductible. Then the other thing we have, the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame has a great class of inductees going in this year. Those people will be there physically, of course, for the weekend with their families, in most cases, enjoying the weekend and enjoying the public. So you get there to hang out with the Hall of Famers. And we have the Hall of Famers from previous classes come. It is the largest collection of Hall of Famers in the country in one location at one time at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. So we really enjoy that. It's the highlight of the year for boxing fans. And there's such a rich tradition in the state of Florida. That's why it's so good. So we need the support. We need it to keep it going. And I'll give you an example of some of the costs. Each and every inductee that gets inducted each year receives a beautiful Hall of Fame ring, there's two plaques that are made. One plaque goes to the inductee to bring it home, and the other plaque hangs on the wall in the museum. Each gets a certificate they can frame. Each gets an embroidered Hall of Fame red polo shirt with the name embroidered on it. So that's a lot of money there. Then, of course, the great dinner that we provide on Friday night, and you have a choice of a chicken or a fish meal, fabulously catered dinner. And then the cost of the hotel and the cost of the travel and all these things add up to between $90,000 to $95,000 to put on an induction weekend. And when you figure you got an organization that has zero income and has to raise the money from the ads, from the ticket sales, from donations, it is an ongoing problem, an ongoing effort, and a job that's done 12 months out of the year. And there's so many great sponsors and helpers and supporters that we need more always to keep it alive. So thank you so much for those that have, and please, those that haven't, participate, help us, and then come and enjoy the weekend.
Oh, let me tell you. And number one is I don't know if you call her right hand, but that great part of you, Steve, Beth. Boy, she on those days, all the time works feverishly. I mean, she's in it all the way, and she does such a great job. And also Duran, Adaya Duran, they do a terrific job with all the stuff that they do to the Hall of Fame. Just to name a few people that really help you. The list is so long, fine, and distinguished that the people are part of that. And like you said, man, if you haven't been a part of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, come and get a membership. Ask how you can be a part of this thing, is because it's a part of greatness in the state of Florida. Boxing from South Florida up to the Panhandle has been for years and years and years. And when you become part of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, you become of that extensive, great history. And, you know, the great fight, and just to name a few of prior inductees, when you said the great Angelo Dundee from Miami Beach, who had the Fifth Street Gym, him and his brother Chris Dundee, to give you a little bit of history, and a young, great Muhammad Ali. When Angelo bring him down to Miami to train, when he was training him, and then to go on to fight the great Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Angelo Dundee are down in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame together, which is unique in itself to have a trainer fighter for the great things that they did for boxing. And the great promoter like Don King, whose office sits in Deerfield Beach, and all the great events, things that he did on HBO and Showtime with his office down in Deerfield Beach, he's in. So, you know, you have the main players who done great things in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, like great matchmakers, Bobby Goodman. And just to name a person you had mentioned, a great promoter from Philadelphia who's going to be down there speaking, Russell Peltz. Man, when Russell Peltz started off as a young man promoting fights, and to become one of the great boxing promoters of our time, is going to be here this weekend, being inducted and to be a part of the ceremonies. You know, I've been a part of the ceremonies, the round table talk, Steve, for a while. Come, man, listen, is because the people who've been in the game a long time, you come and listen to their viewpoint and how we can keep on improving the sport of boxing that each and every one of us just loves and admire, you know, with boxing just around the world, that they do at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. And all that's accredited to Steve Canton. Steve, you know, I want to thank you for stepping in. I know you had some battles with your health, and even on the hospital bed, you're still, as you say, keeping up the fight. And you're keeping up the fight with the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, even when you were sick. You were knocked down like I was, but you get up and you keep on swinging. This great weekend is a part of that. So tell us the date again, Steve, of this great weekend at the Hilton,
It's
and
at
let's pump it out there.
Yes, it's at the Hilton, Lake Carillon, St. Petersburg. Beautiful hotel, 9,200 square foot ballroom, all renovated and beautiful. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 20, 21, and 22. It'll start with the cocktail hour on Friday evenings. You can check in during the day, relax, and enjoy the evening with the cocktail hour and live auction. And the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.com website will have a link to get your hotel rooms at a very good discounted price through the Hall of Fame. Also, there'll be a link for the event tickets to purchase for the weekend. I suggest you get the weekend tickets, even if you're not coming the entire weekend, because it's cheaper than buying them individually. And you can look at that. Ads, we need ads soon. If there's people that still want to put your application in to be considered for the Hall of Fame Scholarship Award we do in memory of Don Hazelton, and we have the grant in memory of Walter Flansburgh. Those applications are on the website. They got to be in by June 1st, so you can check that out. You want to make donations, you let me know. Ads, let me know. You got all the information you need there. What's also good is you got a picture and a name and a listing of all the inductees for the class of 2025 right there on the site. You click on that. You can also see the previous inductees that go all the way back to 2009, each and every class you can see. So it's a well done site with a lot of information on it. But put the date, June 20, 21, 22 on your calendar. It is the highlight of the year for boxing fans, for boxing people. And you know, you name South Florida, you name the Panhandle, Don't forget Jacksonville area, which spawned Nate
Absolutely.
Campbell. And you also got merciless Ray Mercer out of Jacksonville. The entire state of Florida in history has been one of the best ever. And that's why we have such a great Hall of Fame, because the people who are members are listed as all-time greats in the world.
Oh, absolutely. And for the fans, let me tell you something. When you have a great boxing program that's giving out the dinners are always a sellout, and the tickets are running fast. But to be a part of it, to take an ad out, you become immediately part of the induction weekend and your visibility. Just say if you have a small business and you want to get some things out there of your services that you're rendering, or your company to be a part, or if you have a boxing gym, you want the boxing gym to be known around boxing people. Hey, look, take an ad out in the program book. Get your boxing gym or fitness gym, whatever you have, out there in the opening by taking out an ad. If you can't, they have it cost effective. If you can't do the full page, they got a half page. And if you can't do the half page, you do a quarter page. And if you can't do the quarter page, they have a business card that you could take your business card and put it in the program book, and it's still visible, because when people are sitting down eating, they turn the page, they look, they read part of the program. When Steve and Bob Alexander and them are up giving awards, people look at the program book in order to find out information about the next inductees that getting ready to go up into the stand. So that program book with all of these ads are very, very important if you're trying to get your name, your business, your gym, or even boxing managers. You might be a new boxing manager trying to get known. It's a perfect time. With the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, all the boxing personnel, as Steve said, from South Florida to Panhandle, Jacksonville, Fort Myers, all of them merge. Everybody merge from Tampa right there to St. Petersburg at the Hilton. So what other way to get your message out by taking out an ad or a business card ad, a half a page, full page ad? And if you want to be real seen, you just don't have to buy one ad. You could buy 3 and 4 and they'll space it out in the book. But it depends on what you want to do, what your mission is. I think it's a perfect way, direct marketing, as I call it. You can go be direct to the boxing people that you're trying to get your message and your name out to. So it's something great. So Steve, talk about the gym. Well, I said we'll come back to the gym, about that movie, man. You know, talk a little bit about that and awards and how people can help by donating to the gym to help those kids out too.
Yes, one of the things that keeps you going is when you see results, no matter what it is in life. You work, you see results, that's inspirational. Well, when you got a boxing gym like we've had all these years, and kids with difficulties and problems walking in, they've got nothing but problems in the streets. When they walk in and they see a welcoming atmosphere, they see a Hall of Fame museum in the same building, and they think, you know what? Some of those kids that started out years ago, now they're in the Hall of Fame. They stayed with it. I might be able to do that. And when you have Hall of Famers come into the gym, like we have Freeman Barr coming back frequently. Freeman and I were together for 21 years with his professional career. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame his first year of eligibility. He was inducted into the National Bahamian All Sports Hall of Fame his first year of eligibility. He still comes back to the gym at night, works with the kids. David Diamond D. Armstrong, another kid that I had as an amateur, turned pro, won 4 world titles as a professional, ended up getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. He still comes back. Oscar Montilla, Olympic gold medal winner, Army Olympics, 1996 in Atlanta, Georgia. Started in the gym when he was 14 years old. He just turned 50 years old in April. He still
Wow.
comes back. So what happens when these kids today walk in a gym with difficulties and they see these old fighters in the gym helping them and see their stories and hear their stories and see their plaques on the wall and their pictures on the wall, it gives them real inspiration. And then to have a movie that was done about particular kids who had very severe difficulties, very bad situations, and they overcame their situation because of the gym, that's real inspiration. And that movie, not only did it win, like I said, the Fort Myers Film Festival, the Milan, Italy Film Festival, had a fabulous showing at the Village East by Angelica Movie Theater in Manhattan, New York, which was at the same time celebrating its 99th year in existence. And that particular theater has premiered more Academy Award movies than any theater in the world. And they had our movie as a premiere there. And they're talking about the possibility of ours becoming an Academy Award winner. Who knows? But that movie is an inspiration in itself. But the kids that are in the movie are still coming to the gym, training, and inspiring others behind them. So the whole thing is like a big, happy, safe place for these problem kids to come to each and every night. And we have such a great group of people working the gym, like Carla. Carla runs the mentorship program since its inception. She does so much work. She runs the amateur program. She matches the fights. You got Felix Malispan, one of the great Nicaraguan fighters years ago, who had his own gym in the Panhandle for 20 years. He came to Fort Myers now 3 years ago. You got Mario, who's in the movie, who became a 3-time state champion, then became a trainer. You've got my wife, Beth, who does a tremendous job in here. As you mentioned earlier, Taduran, who does a great job for the gym and for the Hall of Fame. John Fernandez, Bobby Ertis, a retired policeman that comes to the gym. All these people are great volunteers. Christina Gioka Samuels, another volunteer that comes in the gym. And each day it seems like we have more and more people helping out to make this thing grow. And I cannot forget our main sponsor for SJC Boxing, Phil Spencer. His support has made the gym possible all these years. So that's what it's all about. People that help to make it possible and keep it going. And that's why we need more people to join the fray, join the team, and help out. Get an ad, get a sponsorship, write a check, become a member, show up, have fun, and see the rewards yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, I have come down to the gym a few times. Came in there, trainers, when you come into a gym, you jump right in. And I want to thank you, Steve, for letting me jump in with them great kids, to give them small little tips, to move around the ring with them, to show them different little pointers, different little tips that they may think about to try to improve what they're trying to do and all of that. I've always had a great time, and always, Steve, you're such a great host. When people come into the gym, you have that desk sitting right at the door, and while you're coaching and pointing fingers, you never, when people walk in the door, you make them feel at home, like they've been there all the time, and that's the kind of attitude you need when you're running such a great program like that. Talk about, did you win the gym won some type of proclamation award from the city? Talk about some of them awards, a key to the city, I think y'all got, and stuff like that.
Yeah, yes. On our 30th anniversary in Fort Myers, we got a key to the city. It was SJC Boxing Day. We had a big, the mayor of Fort Myers had a presentation. And what was interesting, it coincided with a family reunion we were having on Fort Myers Beach. Somehow it just coincided. And what happened was we had a big turnout of family and friends and supporters with the city of Fort Myers. And they've been very great, been a great support to the gym throughout the years. We're very pleased with the mayor of Fort Myers, Kevin Anderson, Liston Boucher, council member. They come to these events. They participate. They encourage the kids. They talk to them. And they even came all the way to Italy last year. We had Liston Boucher from the city there when the movie was competing in the Milan, Italy Film Festival. They went to New York with us for the red carpet event in Manhattan in April. The city of Fort Myers was there. They come to our open houses each time at the gym. Mm-hmm. We're so pleased and so happy that we have their support, but they see what we're doing, and that's why we need the help of the people who haven't been there before. Come by, check it out, get involved, become a member, write a check, and see the results of your contribution.
And, look, and what makes it nice with the museum, a part of the gym, if you come to the museum is free. But once you get there and you see these kids working and trying, you can leave a tip or something, man. It touches you that much when you're there.
Yeah,
So,
we have a donation jar right there on the desk, and people
right
come
there
by,
on the desk, you
and they'll
come
put a
there, make it.
donation in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and what makes it so great with the museum, you go in, man, you see all of these great boxing personnel who are inducted into the Hall of Fame, but you see the memorabilia, you could touch it, you could try it on. It's just it's touching to hold up somebody's championship belt that's on the display. It's just amazing for this to have a unique setup like that with the museum and the boxing gym. It's something on the cutting edge of what we see, and that's why your programs are winning these awards. But go to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, like Steve Canton said, to buy your tickets, to buy your program, and there is a telephone number. So if you get stuck, you can't make a payment. You know how websites are sometimes with cards. You can't take the card or anything like that. Call that telephone number. They have somebody who answers the phone. They will tell you how to make the purchase of the award dinner, the price of it. If you can't do it, they'll tell you on the phone what you have to do. If you want to buy memorabilia, there's memorabilia, there's dynamite, hats, t-shirts, and all of that kind of stuff, hoodies, stuff like that, t-shirts. You can purchase that. They'll tell you how to do all of that. But this weekend coming up, like Steve said, in June 21st to the 23rd, please come and attend and be a part of that Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. It's something unique. And this is Memorial Day weekend. We want to say happy Memorial Day weekend to each and every one who served, who guard us and protect us with their time. And at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, they do have a ceremony for the inductees that are coming in with the military, the color guard. Talk about that, Steve, since
Yes,
we're in this weekend.
Yeah, we start off with the on Sunday morning with the induction ceremonies with the color guard from American Legion Post 5 there in Tampa, and they provide a nice color guard with the American flag. We march in with the inductees, and we have the national anthem sung, and then we have a prayer by Pinklin Thomas will lead an invocation, and then we finish that with a 10 count for those deceased inductees that are getting inducted. So it's a nice ceremony. And it's very strong. And again, FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com.
Yeah, and don't forget, you have Randy Gordon, who's going to be the speaker for the awards dinner. Randy Gordon, for those who may not know him that are familiar with him, Randy Gordon, he's the former commissioner of New York, and also he's the former editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine, uh, which is one of the longest printed magazines in the world, which Turk Al-Sheikh now has purchased the Ring Magazine. But Randy Gordon was that. and
Yeah.
Randy Gordon used to commentate and all of those type of things. Good speaker. And he knows boxing. So hey, look, come.
Yeah.
This is
I said
yeah,
Randy was also the voice of the Tuesday night fights that was so popular. It was Randy Gordon there at ringside. And
yeah,
that's looking
absolutely,
forward to coming back
absolutely.
to. Yeah, he's coming
Yeah,
back to Tampa where he did all those promotions with Phil Alessi Sr. And I
yes.
know Junior is looking forward because he was very young and he looked up to Randy as a young kid, but now he's coming back and he's looking forward to seeing each other. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a big
and
event.
you're talking about Phil Alessi Jr. He's having a show at the Tampa Hilton, June 13th. Man, you come down. He's been doing them quite a bit in the year. He runs a great show. I mean, he has something special to come. Up and coming fights. Also, Carissa Shields against Daniels from July 26th. Um, Canelo Alvarez in Crawford, September 12th. So we have a lot of fights that are coming about. And Serrana, she's fighting again. That trilogy that she had um, in Madison Square Garden, which is going to be an all women's card. Isn't that something, Steve? Who would ever think the different struggles that women's boxing had to get up on the platform in the forefront? You have an all women's card in Madison Square Garden. Isn't that something?
That's great. And don't forget that was actually uh, because of Christine Martin, who had so much
Yes,
exposure to women's boxing. That kind of helped get it going. And as a matter of fact, Christy contacted me this morning and just purchased an ad in the program herself. So
that's
just
right.
before we went on the air, I set the ad with the program for Christy, and we were just talking about the upcoming weekend. So yeah, come on out June 20, 21, 22 at the Hilton, Lake Carillon, St. Petersburg. And don't forget the tickets, FloridaBoxingHallOfFame.com.
Well, Steve, we're going to end the show right there. I mean, we could stand here and talk boxing all day long, but I know that you took a little time out of your busy day um, to come on the show, but you have to go to a funeral, to Bob Alexander's father's funeral today. When you get off the show, you're going to be ready to go there.
Yes.
And hey, look, our listening fans, Bob Alexander, great ring announcer, vice president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Send a little note out to him. He's on Facebook. Send him prayers out to him. If give him a phone call. You know, he's feeling a little down when you lose a loved one and all of that. When you lose a father, a parent, it's something. So give your condolences, send messages out to Bob Alexander, and we all love you, and the boxing community loves you, Bob Alexander. Our deepest prayers, our deepest condolences. And also, Steve, thank you, man. Thank you
Thank,
and your wife for all the work that you do in boxing and all this cutting edge stuff that you talked about all doing for the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Boy, you're a real diamond, Steve, and we appreciate you keeping that diamond shine. And thank you for
thank
coming
you
on.
so much. Thank you so much, Aaron. One quick note too is we this yesterday was the anniversary of the first internet boxing in history. SJC promoted the first internet broadcast of boxing in the world, 1997, seen by over 150,000 people in 15 different countries. Now, internet boxing is commonplace. SJC did the first casino boxing state of Florida. That's commonplace now. SJC Boxing did the first pay-per-view event in the Caribbean islands. So these are some milestones that we've done. But thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be with you. Enjoy talking with you always, whether it's on or off the air. Keep doing what you're doing, Aaron. And we're looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks at Induction Weekend.
Oh, absolutely, Steve, and we'll be talking about some things. But hey, look, man, thank each and every one of you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. What a great interview this morning that we had with Steve Canton with the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame and the SJC gym director. Thank you for tuning in. Same time, same place next week. The World Boxing Review.